welcome back to Carradale. As you can see, not much has changed apart from talking about a different wine, the 2019 Luminosa Chardonnay. So Luminosa for us is named after the vineyard. Vineyard's in the Wallcliffe sub-region of Margaret River. For those of you, I'm sure most of you have been to Margaret River, Narrawari Road, and basically just a couple of k's down on your left-hand side borders onto Lewin and Voyager. And I guess there's a real, one of the best vineyards that we own, about 20 hectares. Within that vineyard, we've got a specific block of Chardonnay. We call it Block 5, and I split it into east and west. It's a bit over 2 hectares. The western side tends to be a bit more vigorous and have a bit more of an acid line, and the eastern side tends to be a little bit more open and always has these beautiful, ripe peach characters. And I think that's always a hallmark of this wine. Once it settles down and gets a bit of bottle age, and even usually earlier, it smells like I call it a peach fuzz character. So smelling the outside of a ripe peach. A little bit about the 2019 vintage. So really cool vintage. Picked both the east and the west basically 1 day apart. So the eastern part was first, picked on the 28th of Feb, and on the 1st of March was the western side. So I went straight into it. The sugar levels at picking were about 12.6, but the wild fermentation, we always see a little bit of an increase in alcohol. So we've got a wine that's 13.3% alcohol. And in terms of how we make it, to be honest, this wine has really evolved since the first vintage in 2009. Used to be full Malo back in 2009, now there's no Malo, and that's probably just a personal preference and a winemaking style. In 2017, which was a really great wine for us, and I think along similar lines to this, we started not doing any fining or any filtration of this wine. So this wine has not been through one filter at all. It's had no additives apart from sulfur. Free sulfur levels are about 40 because we want the wines to age, but 100% wild fermented. And a little bit in puncheon, so a couple of Mercury puncheons and a couple of Dami Barriques. That's it, 37% new oak. In terms of the specs, it's 3.25 pH and 8.4 TA. So pretty up there in terms of acid numbers. But I think this wine and this vineyard has this amazing ability to carry that sort of acid, and that's what I learned in the 2017 vintage, especially if you don't filter it, because you're not stripping any flavour out of it. It's just basically ridgy mesh on the bottling line and through into the bottle. In terms of batonnage, little bits here and there, all done on taste. We're really trying to get this beautiful sort of gunflint character within the wine. I don't want it to be a bilgy sulphide. I want it to be a really fine sort of I call it gunflint rather than struck match, because that tends to have those more sort of developed sulphide sort of characters. In terms of the wine, you get this real vanilla char and peach fuzz, pink grapefruit zest, and then on the palate, just pure citrus, and will certainly reward aging. It's a wine that I think really sits in a sweet spot about 2 years from release, but look forward to you trying it and hope you enjoy it.